Hello dear aspirants, I welcome you for the session on CSAT. From today, as we have promised, we are beginning with the CSAT session. The first session will be on the number system, as the basic numeracy holds lot of weightage in your examination. Now keeping that in mind, right? So what I'm going to do now? So we start and understand what are numbers, types of numbers, and let's try to see how the question is being framed, which checks your basic understanding. Once you do that, then I'll be giving you two practice questions and I expect you to answer this and put the answer in the comment section. So now let's begin. Right? The first, what are numbers? If anybody asks you what are numbers, and what is it? It is just a symbol, just like an alphabet. We have a symbol to represent quantity, right? So we use to count the things. We use numbers. So now, if you look at this in a very simplified manner, right? So when I am starting counting, when you are, when you are being a child, when you are being a kid, how the counting has started for you, right? You never counted square root 2, square root 3, pi, 1.5 decimals. You are not going to do it, right? So we start with counting the numbers or counting the object that are in front of us in a completeness. That means that we use 1, 2, 3, right? So these are basically how the counting begins, right? So these numbers we are talking about are called as natural numbers, because that is how the man naturally learns how you are supposed to count without much complication. So the first is natural numbers, or you can also call them as counting numbers. Okay. So what do you have here? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because you do not have 0 here, because if something is called 0, that means that there is nothing to count, right? So that means that you are having the counting number, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So now that means that what is the least counting number that you can have? That is 1. What is the largest or the maximum counting number that you can have? That has no end. It is infinity, right? So that means that these are all positive numbers and they are whole in themselves, complete in themselves, right? So a successor, or what is the meaning of successor, is basically the next number of any given natural number will also be a natural number, right? However, the predecessor, that is the previous number of all the natural number, will also be natural number except 1, right? So the predecessor of 1 is basically 0, so which is not a natural number, right? So in that sense, basically the natural numbers are counting numbers. Now, what are various properties that if you look at the natural number that we are going to have? Let's understand one by one, right? So that means that, let's say if I do a mathematical operation, the basic mathematical operation that we have is addition and subtraction, right? The multiplication is nothing but the consecutive addition, or it is basically, for example, if I say what is 2 3s are, right? Though it is a multiplication, if you look closely, what it is basically, we are adding 2 3 times, but symbolically, right? So rather than writing it as 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, we just write 2 how many times? 3 times. That is addition. It is a successive addition, right? Similarly, division is successive subtraction. So the basic operation, whatever that we have started with, was basically addition and subtraction. Now, the multiplication is basically the next version of the addition itself. So keeping that in mind, when you add any two natural numbers, right, answer will also be a natural number. If you are, 2 plus 3, 5, right? If you multiply any two natural numbers, again I can say 2 into 3, 6. This is also a natural number, because again, as I told you, multiplication is successive addition. So that means that if we hold for addition, it also should hold true for multiplication. So keeping that in mind, anything that you add two natural numbers or multiply two natural numbers, final answer will also be a natural number. A plus B is also belongs to natural number, or A into B. If both A and B are natural number, then A into B will also belongs to natural number, right? However, this will not hold true for your subtraction or division, right? So now if I look at subtraction, now if I am subtracting a smaller number or a smaller natural number from the larger natural number. For example, I subtract 3 from 5. That is a smaller natural number from largest natural number. Answer will be 2, which is another natural. However, if I reverse the order, if I am subtracting larger natural number from the smaller natural number, then answer will be a negative number, which is not a natural number. So, it holds true only for addition and multiplication, right? And in division, though, you know that, let's say if I divide 2 by 3, this comes in the decimals, which is not even a natural number. So, this will hold true. Now, what is the second rule that we can think of, right? So, let's understand. Now, if there are two natural numbers a and b, whenever I write a and b in this section, that means that I am talking about two natural numbers, which is also equal to b plus a. So, the order does not matter whether you add 2 plus 3 or you add 3 plus 2. Both are same. Similarly, if it is holding true for addition, then it also should hold true for multiplication. So, now let's look at it. 2 into 3 is 6 or 3 into 2 is also 6. Again, this will not hold true for subtraction or division. That means that, 2 minus 3 is very different from 3 minus 2. 2 minus 3 is minus 1, 3 minus 2 is plus 1. So, it will not hold true for subtraction. What is the next rule that we are supposed to know? Right? So, whenever I am telling these rules will not be directly asked in the examination. How you are supposed to use the rules, that we will understand when we are solving the problem. But as of now, try to understand what are these rules are, how they have been derived, and I will give you an example where it can be actually applied in your day-to-day calculation, so that rather than mugging up the rules, you understand the utility of the rules. All right? Yes. Now, let's look at this. Right? So, let's say I have three numbers, a plus b plus c, right? Which is also equal to a plus b plus c. That means that here what I am doing, the first operation was a plus b as it is in the bracket. Then I am adding the result with c. That is also same. Or if I do the operation of b plus c first, or if I add b plus c first, then add it to a. That is also same. What is the meaning of it? For example, if I have 3 plus 2 plus 7. So, here 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12, which is also equal to, if I write the same, 3 plus 2 plus 7. That is 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. So, again this also holds true for your multiplication. If something is holding true for addition, it is a common sense that it will also hold true for multiplication, because what is multiplication? It is nothing but a successive addition. All right. So, now where you can use it in general, for example, if I have a calculation, right? For example, let's say if I am having the multiplication, so you will understand it. 3 into 2 into 7, that is 3 into 2 is 6, 6 into 7 is 42. Now, this is same as 2 into 7, right? That is 2 into 7 is 14, 14 3s are 42, both are same. Now, where I can apply this, sir? Why I need all these formulas? Why I should remember these rules, sir? We are not a school kids where we have to prove something a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. That you don't need to prove in the examination where you are having for 2 marks, 3 marks that you are supposed to prepare. So, first let's understand the utility of it. What is the utility of it? Let's say if I want to do some calculation, something like this, right? That is, 4 into 50 into, let's say, 7. Right? Now, if it is like this, right? So, then it is easy because 4 into 50 is 200 and then into 7 will be your 200 into 7 will be 1400. Now, let's say the question has been given something like this. 7 into 50 into 4. Now, if you go in order, 7 5s are 35, that is 7 into 50 will be 350 into 4. Again, now you have to see 35 into 4. This becomes more difficult to do the calculation, or it is rather than difficult, it will take little more time compared to the previous calculation. So, what I can do, since the order does not matter, first I will multiply these two. That is 50 into 4. That will come in hundreds. That means that 200. Now, 200 into 7, 2 into 7, 14. You just write 1400. Right. So, when you exchange this order to our convenience, we will be doing the faster calculation, right? So in that way, it will be more helpful to understand this rule. Now, coming back or going further forward to the next rule, right? What is the next rule? If you understand the next rule, it is just the distributive law. Again, I am not saying associative law, commutative law, closure law, because all of these are for if you are reading it for a school examination, then you should know the law name also. Here, rather than knowing the law name, you know the principle behind it. That would be more than sufficient, right? So now that means that what is that? Let's say if there is A into B plus C, right, where A, B, C are three natural numbers, then I can also say, can be written it as A into B plus A into C, right? Now, sir, where it will be useful? Again, think from the utility, something like this, okay? Now, 20 into 50 plus 3, right? Now, since it is a bracket, what we will do? First, we will do 50 plus 3, 53 into 2. Rather than doing that, what you can do? You can add this first, 2 into 5. That is, this will be nothing but 20 into 50 plus 20 into 3. So, 20 into 50, 2 5 is 100. So, 20 into 50 will be 1000 plus 20 into 3 will be 60. So, 100, 1000 plus 60 will be, you can directly write it as 1060. So, when I split it across, right, it became more easier calculation when compared to the previous calculation. So, that is how the utility will be coming. So, whenever you are thinking them and start using them in your calculation, the calculation becomes faster, right? Now, that is about your, now this will also hold true for your subtraction also. That is, if I am having, for a small example, 2 into 5 minus 3. Now, if you see the answer, 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 into 2 is 4. So, rather than that, what I can do? 2 into 5, that is 10. Minus 2 into 3, that is 6. 10 minus 6 is also 4, right? So, whatever that is comfortable, you don't need to apply all the time. Wherever it is better to apply, so that your calculation time decreases, you can go through it. So, that is how basically the rule has been decided, right? So, this is about your basic laws, okay? That is how we have understood basic rules. Now what we are going to do, we'll also understand that the next type of numbers, okay? So then we start clubbing the things, understanding the basic ideas, and then we try to solve the question which looks difficult, but if you understand the basic logic, they are very simple. What is the next thing? So now when only you are counting the numbers 1 2 3 4, the completeness will not happen, the wholeness will not come unless you have a 0, because I have taken 5 rupees from you, and if I give it back 5, how much I have to give? You say nothing. Then how do you represent that mathematically, right? So you cannot write nothing everywhere. So we have introduced nothing as 0, right? So that means that the 0 will make your counting much easier, right? So when you add 0 to the already existing natural number, that is 1 2 3 4, the whole set is called as whole number. That is the complete numbers. The whole number will also include 0. Now, once you understand this, the same rule will apply. Now, only thing is the least whole number was 0, right? And you know that if you add two whole numbers, that is 0 plus 5, 2 plus 5, whatever that you add, answer will be whole number. If you multiply two whole numbers, answer will be whole number. But again, it will not hold true for subtraction, because 0 minus 3, it will become minus 3, which is not a part of whole number, right? Similarly, 2 by 3, again you will not have a complete number, which is not a part of, that is for it is not hold true for division and subtraction. Other than that, whatever that we have discussed, that is same. Only thing, sometimes in the examination hall, if they are talking about positive integers, right? So we'll come to that now. So now, once you understand the completeness should be there should not be any fractions as such, and they should be counting, that are natural numbers. And if you add 0 to it, it will become whole number. Now, is it only possible to calculate? So we have to further, to do our calculation more simpler, right? Because now you understand the real-time situation, then you will understand why there is a need of integer or the negative numbers, right? Otherwise, in real life, there is nothing called negative numbers, right? So now, why do you need these negative numbers? Let's say, this is a ground level. You are telling that this is 0 meter. and you are calculating your, let's say, height of a building which is 100 meter above the ground. So that means that ground level is actually the reference point considered as 0 meter. From there you are calculating. Now let's say somebody is actually, for this 100-meter apartment, let's say somebody is actually constructing a borewell. Now the borewell goes below the earth. Now if this is 0, right, again this is also, let's say, 250 feet. Okay. Now how do I represent this 252? If I say just write 250 to it, then it will become above the earth level. To show something in the opposite direction, what will you, because the quantity is same, here also the length is 250, but the difference is only the direction. So that means that to represent that, what we have done, we have started having the negative. Negative means basically the, the opposite direction of what they are positive. That means that, let's say, if you are having 0 degree as your, for your temperature as your reference level, then all the temperature that you will be talking, keeping that 0 degree as the reference level. Now anything that is less than 0, too cold, right? So that means that 0 degree is something, where ice will convert itself into, water is convert itself into ice, right? So that means that below which the freezing point. So how do you calculate? That is the temperature. So we put it a negative direction, right? So in that way, also let's say in finance, right? If somebody has to give you money, right? Then you will write how much is supposed money that is supposed you should earn. Then you will be adding plus to it. If you are supposed to use the same amount of money to somebody else, then how do you represent it? Because amount is same in both the cases, but it is the direction whether you are receiving or you are going to give it back to others. So in that sense, we have just changed the direction. As the magnitude or quantity of the number is same, the negative shows the direction. The profit shows the positive. The expenditure shows the negative, or the liability shows the negative, right? So, in that sense, basically, we will be showing. So, if I want, final profit, so what do? I calculate all my revenue, which is positive. Also, I'll subtract all my expenditure, which is negative. Now, the difference is basically what is your profit, or if the difference is less than 0, that means that it is your liability. So it shows the direction whether you are in a profit mode or liability mode, whatever the kind it is. So the negative numbers has been introduced. Now to understand this better, we will see the number line, right, to make you understand easily. Now what we do, as I told you, it shows the direction. Now exactly at the center point I will put 0. If you go on the right direction, okay, right, so on, these are the positive number. If you start moving leftwards, then you are having negative numbers. Simple to understand, right? Now whenever I want to do the basic mathematical operation, for example, I want to add 2 numbers. For example, 2 plus 3 I have to do. That means right now you are at 2. You have to move 3 position, because addition is what? You have to move 3 position rightwards. So that is 1, 2, 3. So basically you will be at 5. So if I want to subtract 2 minus 3, minus means what? You are going leftwards in the number line system. That means that 1, 2, 3, right? So that means that 2 minus 3 will be minus 1. Now every time I cannot construct a number line and doing it. So what is the easy way of, doing this addition or subtraction is in a very simple way, right? So now that means that when you are, similarly, let's say if there is a 3 minus 2, then what will you do? Again, you are right now at 3, you have to go 2 position leftwards, 1, 2, that will be plus 1, right? So now if you're looking at every time, the same 2 minus 3 is coming as the quantity wise both are same, but the direction is different, whether it can be negative number or it can be positive number, right? So keeping those things in mind, now how do you do it mentally? Always you cannot construct this number line and keep jumping across it. So what we'll do, whenever you have 2 numbers of the different, symbols, that is one is positive, other is negative, all we do is we subtract the smaller number from the larger number. In this case, what is the smaller number? 2 is the smaller number. What is the larger number? 3 is the larger number. So I will subtract 2 from 3, 2 from 3. So what will be answer? If you subtract 2 from 3, answer will be 1. Now you are going to keep the symbol of the larger number in the equation. So here the larger number is 3. The symbol is negative. So that means that 2 minus 3 will become minus 1. Similarly, if I am having 7 minus 10, what I will do? The 10 is the larger number, 7 is the smaller number. So what I will do? I just subtract them. That is 7, 10 minus 7. That is subtracting smaller number from the larger number and then writing it as 3. However, the larger number has a negative symbol. We keep it as minus 3. Right? So similarly, if it is 10 minus 7, then again I subtract. Answer will be 3. But when I look at the larger number, which is positive, so answer will also be plus 3. If you don't, symbol or write plus, that means that it is plus. Right? So you don't need to again mention plus 3. It is default. Only for the negative you have to show. Right? Now, same with the addition. If I am adding two number, that is two positive number. For example, 2 plus 3, answer will be 5. Now, what if I am having minus 2, minus 3? Now, what I do? Let's say right now I have minus 2. What I have to do? I have to go 3 steps leftwards. 1, 2 and 3. Answer will be minus 5. Again, as I told you, what is the simplest way to do it? When both having the same symbol, that is either plus or minus, then you just add them first. Then whatever the symbol is there, you just keep it here. 2 plus 3 I will add. I will write answer as 5. Both 2 and 3 have a negative symbol. That is why I am keeping it as minus. Similarly, 2 plus 3 is 5. I directly keep it as it is. Now, if you look at other way around also, when you are subtracting, where you are having one as a positive number, other is, other is negative. Then what you are going to do? Simply, you are subtracting smaller number from the larger number and you are going to keep the symbol of the larger number. That's it. Right? Now that is with your addition or subtraction. Right? Now if you look at the properties again, right, try to understand. When you are knowing that when you are adding two numbers with respect to natural number, answer was natural number only. When you are multiplying two natural numbers, answer was natural numbers. Same holds true with the whole numbers also. Now, but what was not holding true was subtraction. But when you come to integers, even subtraction will hold true. For example, if I am subtracting 2 minus 3, answer will be minus 1, which is again an integer. Right? So that means that it is not only holds true for addition and multiplication, it also holds true for the subtraction. So that you are supposed to know about the integer. Now, let's look at the multiplication of integers. Now, let's keep it simple. If there are, two negative numbers, that is minus 2 and minus 3, all you have to do is, multiply them as the number 6. If both are negative, answer will be positive. Minus into minus will always give you positive. Similarly, if two numbers are positive, 2 into 3, then again answer will be positive. Right? So that means that if you are having a like symbol when in the multiplication, either it can be negative or positive, answer will be in positive. Similarly, if you are multiplying one negative number and one positive number, 2 into minus 3, again you will keep it 6, but since there is one is plus, another is minus, you will keep the answer as minus 6. That is the negative symbol. Similarly, if you are having minus 2 into 3, order does not matter because you already know that A into B is also equal to B into A. Same, you will have 6 minus 6. That is, when the multiplication of two integers, if both are having the same signs, then the answer will be positive. If one is negative, another is positive, answer will always be the negative. That you can keep in the mind. So once you understand this, next we will understand exponents or powers. Right? What are powers? Again, all these powers, exponent are all basically the shorthand notation that we use because, let's say what is 2 cube? What is the meaning of it? 2 cube is nothing but 2 has been multiplied with itself 3 times. What is 2 to the power of 5? It is nothing but 2 has been multiplied with itself for how many times? 5 times. In this way, it is, nothing but you cannot keep 2 to the power of 100. I cannot write 2 into 2 into 200 times. That will consume my complete, tab also, my complete, my paper also. So what I symbolically write it as 2 to the power 100. That means that what? 2 into 2 into 2 into how many times? 100 times. Right? So goes on up to 100 times you have to multiply with itself. Now, keeping that in mind, we go with about how the exponents will work and what are the various properties of it in the next session. but just understand the meaning of it. Now, keeping that in mind, I will get two ideas here. Sir, what is that we are having where we can have something called negative numbers ka power, right? Let's say -2 to power 2. So what you are doing basically here, you are multiplying -2 into -2. Now you already know if there are two negative number, answer will be positive. Similarly, if I have -2 cube, so what I am basically doing, I am multiplying -2 with another -2 with another -2. Now you know that, when -2 into -2, that is already 4. Now with that 4 again you are multiplying with another, that is positive number, and you multiply with a negative number, that is -2. Answer will be 8. However, the symbol will be negative because -2 into -2 is what? +4. +4 into -2. Now plus into minus will be minus. 4 into 2 is 8. Keeping that in mind, basically what I can say, all I can say is, whenever there is a negative number, if you are having a even power, right? So for example, -2 to the power 4. Again, what will happen? -2 into -2 into -2 into -2. So what will happen? So if you look at it, -2 -2, that is +4, because two negatives make it positive. Again, -2 -2, that is +4. Now both are positive. 4 into 4, it is 60. So that is positive 60. If I have 2 to the power of -2 to the power of 5, that means that I will add one more -2 here. That is already answer was 16, which was positive. When you multiply with another negative number, you will get -32. So that means that what we can observe here closely is, when we are having any negative number with the even powers, then answer will always be the positive number, right? Similarly, if you are having any number with odd powers, that is a negative number with odd powers, then answer will always be a negative number. These are the two things that we have understood, right? So further, for positive number, you don't need to worry. 2 square, all you are adding is 2 positive number, or you are multiplying is 2 positive number. 2 cube, all you are doing is multiplying 3 positive number. When are positive into positive, positive. Again with the answer, one more positive, positive. So that means that for any positive number, irrespective of whether the power is odd or even, answer will always be a positive number. So for a positive powers, you don't need to worry. But for a negative numbers ka powers, you should always say that if it is a even power, answer will be positive number. If it is a odd power, then answer will be negative number, right? So all you calculate is -2 to the power. You just calculate 2 to the power of 5. Answer will be 32. Then keep the symbol of negative, that is -32. That's it, right? Now, this is about your, the powers with respect to positive and negative. Now, when I go further, these integers can be further be divided into even numbers, because I am talking about even power, odd power, without mentioning what is even power, what is odd power. So what is even power, what is odd power, right? So what is basically even power is, let's say if I have anything, even is what? Whenever you are using the ground is even. So what is the meaning of it? So that means that it can be basically, having two equal parts, right? So it has been basically, I can divide into two equal parts is called even. For example, if it is 4, I can divide to two equal part 2 into 2. If it is 6, I can make it 2 equal part 3 into 3, right? So that means that any number which can be made 2 equal part, that means that it should be divisible by 2 to make it 2 equal part. Now if I want to do 5, though I can make it 2 equal part, but the number is not an integer. It will be in the fractions or the decimals. So keeping that in mind, any number which when divided by 2 gives you no remainder, it will be completely divided. That numbers are called even numbers. And those numbers which when you divide by 2 gives the remainder 1 is called as, for example, if you divide 5 by 2, you will get 1 as the remainder. Those numbers are called as odd numbers. It can be odd integers, even integers. So that means that 0, for example, is a, though you cannot divide 0 into further 2 equal parts, still 0 is basically an even number. So now how do I find any number is a even number? I don't need to every time divide by 2 whether it is divisible. So any number that is ending up with 0, any number that is ending up with 2, 4, 6, 8. that is the unit digit of any number comes as 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, we consider them as even number. Any number which are having 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 as their unit digit, we consider them as odd number. Simple, clear. Okay, now there is no confusion about it. Now, when you understand about even and odd numbers, let's also understand some properties of even numbers and odd numbers. What are the properties with respect to operations, right? So let's understand one by one. Let's assume whenever I'm telling you about the theory, don't mug it up. You visualize two numbers when I'm talking it, and then you do the operation in your mind so that you understand it better. Now let's see this, right? Let's say if I'm having, let's have addition, let's have subtraction, let's have multiplication, and understand the rules properly, right? Now go with the addition. Let's say there are two numbers which are even. That is even 1. Second is also, if I am writing E, it indicates that even number. Okay. Now if I am adding two even numbers, what will happen? Let's say you add in your mind 2 plus 4. Answer will be 6. So that means that when you add two even number, answer will be even. Right. Similarly, if I subtract two even numbers, you mentally calculate it. 4 minus 2, answer will be 2. 6 minus 2, answer will be 4. 8 minus 6, answer will be 2. So that means that when you are subtracting two even numbers, answer is also an even number. Now what will happen if I am multiplying two even numbers? Right? Even into even. You multiply in your mentally. You multiplication is nothing but you can think of a multiplication table. Right? Let's say that the multiplication table of 2. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all are even. 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, all are even numbers. So that means that when you multiply two even number, answer will be even number. The basic rule, right? Now, we have one as even number, other as odd number. Now, what will happen here? When I add, let's say, 2 plus 1, mentally, you rather than doing it as thinking like this, just take two any numbers and mentally calculate. What will be 2 plus 1? 2 plus 1 will be 3. So that means that when you add one even number, similarly, you have 3 plus, let's say 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, right? 7 plus 8, 15. 15 plus 16, 31. Like that, if I just calculate any one even number, one odd number, answer will always be odd, right? Similarly, if I subtract one even number from odd number, let's say even 1 minus odd 1. Think about it. 2 minus 1, what will be the answer? 1. 4 minus 3, what will be the answer? 1. 4 minus 1, answer will be 3. So that means that when you are subtracting an odd number from an even number, answer will be odd. Similarly, if I'm subtracting odd 1 minus even 1, because the order, even 1 plus odd 1, or even plus odd, or odd plus even, because you know that the direction of the, order of the sum will not matter, whether it is a plus b is also same, b plus a, so in the even. But however, when it comes to subtraction, let's look at in both the sides, right? Let's say if I am having odd minus even, think about an odd number, 3, subtract it from a even number, right? Sorry, subtract an even number from it, that is 2. So that is 3 minus 2 will be how much? Again, answer will be 1. So that is an odd number. 5 minus 2, answer will be 3. 7 minus, let's say 4, answer will be 3 again. So that means that whenever I am subtracting, one even and one odd, that is one, odd number from the even number or even number from the odd number, irrespective of it, answer will always be odd. Right? So that means that for both addition and subtraction, in one of the term is even, other is odd, answer will always be odd. If both are even, answer will be even. Next, right? Now think of it, from the perspective of multiplication. Now, how do you think about it? Again, don't, multiply. Just think about 2 3s are 6, 2 5s are 10, 2 7s are 14. So here 2 into 7, 2 into 5. That is one even, one odd. answer will be even. So that means that in a multiplication, even if one number is even, irrespective of the other number, answer will be even. This you are supposed to understand. Now finally, we will have two odd numbers, odd plus odd, right? 1 plus 3, 4, 3 plus 5, 8, 5 plus 7, 12, right? 7 plus 9, 16. So that means that whenever you are adding two odd numbers, answer finally will be even number, right? Similarly, you are subtracting two odd numbers, that is 7 minus 3, answer will be 4. 7 minus 5, answer will be 2, right? 3 minus 1, answer will be 2. So that means that whenever you are subtracting two odd numbers, right, answer will be even. That is, if the two numbers in the given operation is having either both are even, answer will be even with respect to addition and subtraction. Similarly, even in the multiplication. Similarly, when you have two odd numbers, if you are subtracting it, then also answer is even. If you are adding it, then also answer will be even. Only when one is even and one is odd, if you do either addition or subtraction, answer will be odd. When it comes to multiplication, if both are even, still answer is even. One is even, one is odd, answer is even. That means that if one of the term is even, final answer will be even. You don't need to worry about it, right? Similarly, if both are odd, what will happen? That is 3 5s are 15, right? 3 7s are 21, 3 9s are 27. So that means that when both are odd, answer will be odd. So that means that in a multiplication, what will happen? If both are odd, answer will be odd. But however, it is not true for addition and subtraction, right? So this is something that you are supposed to understand. Now we will also understand, going forward, about other types of the natural number, which are called as prime number and composite number, and other certain terminologies associated with them, and also I'll explain them. Then, in the next session, we will also discuss about other type of numbers like rational numbers, what are, fractions, or what is irrational numbers, that or what are, finally the real numbers. All these things we will have in a next session. Let's not mix it up too many things and make you get confused. Let's keep it this way, right? So now, if you look about prime number, composite number, and the unity. So that means that let's understand one by one. Let's have a natural number, right? I can write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll keep it till 15. Now let's understand one by one. Now, if you look at 2, right, or if let's start from 1, this can be written as 1 1s, right? So that is 1 is divisible by 1 only. Now, if I consider 2, with what it will be divisible by? It will be divisible by 1 2s also, 2 1s also. That means that it will be divisible by both 1 and 2. Now, if I look at 4, what it will be divisible by? It will be 1 into 4 also, or 4 into 1 also. Similarly, 2 2s are. That means that it will divide with 1, it will be divisible by 4, it will be divisible by 2. Similarly, if I take 5, 5 is 5 into 1 or 1 into 5. So it will divisible by 1, it is divisible by 5. Similarly, 6 if I take, it is divisible by 1 and 6. 2 and 3. So 2 3s are 1 6 are. So it will be divisible. 7 again, 1 into 7. 8 again, it will be divisible by 1, it will be divisible by 8. It will be divisible by 2, it will be divisible by 4. Similarly, 9, it will be divisible by 1, it will be divisible by 9, it will be divisible by 3 3s are. So that is just basically, and so on. Let's not write it for all the numbers, but have a broader understanding. Now, if you look at closely here, right? So what you can observe, some numbers have only, two factors. Factor is that number which divides the given number. So that means that 2 will be divisible by 1, 2 will be divisible by 2. That means that now if you look at another thing, all the numbers are divisible by 1. Right. So that means that, every, natural number or a whole number will be divisible by 1 except 0, right, for almost. Right. So that means that every natural number will be divisible by 1. That means that 1 is factor of all the numbers. Similarly, if you look at closely, 1 is 1 1s, 1 into 2, that is 2 is divisible by 2, 3 is divisible by 3 into 1, that is it is divisible by 3, 4 is divisible by 4, 5 is divisible by 5, 6 is divisible by 6. So that means that every number will be divisible by the number itself, right? Every number is having a factor of the number itself. So the largest factor or the largest number which is divisible by given number is number itself. What is the smallest number that will be divisible? Dividing a given number will be 1. So these are the two basic things. Second, if you look at certain number, that is 2, you are having two numbers which is dividing 2. If you look at 3, two numbers are dividing 3. Similarly, if you look at 5, two numbers are dividing 5. That means that there are certain number which will be divisible by 1 and the number itself. Such numbers are called prime numbers. That means that prime numbers are those natural numbers which will be exactly divisible by two numbers, that is 1 and the number itself. That means that it have how many factors? 2 factors. One thing, good enough, right? Now, if any number having more than 2 factors, that is 3 and more, we call them as composite numbers. Okay. Now 1, if you look at, have only one factor, that is 1. That is why 1 is neither prime nor composite. So if I want to divide any natural number, either it can be unity, that is 1, or it can be a prime number which are having exactly 2 factors, that is 1 and the number itself, and the composite number which are having more than 2 factors. It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 8. Right? Now that is something that we are supposed to understand. Right? So also if you look at the prime number, if you look at 3, it is a prime number. 5 is a prime number. Next 7 is a prime number. Now if you look at 11, that is a prime number. 1 into 11. 13 is a prime number. So if you look at all the prime number except 2, all are odd in nature. Only even number which is prime is 2. The least prime number which is 2 is the only even prime number. Except it, all of them are odd prime numbers. Okay, these are the basic factors. Right. With respect to prime numbers in detail, we will have in one more session. I don't want to add too many things. Okay. So this is it for basic numbers. And if you look at another factors closely, right. So if you wherever you are seeing, let's say 4, 9, if I want to say, let's say 16, if I want to divide it as 1 into 16, 2 into 8, then 4 4s are, right? So if you look at how many factors are there? 5 factors. How many factors are there? 3 factors. If you look at this number, how many factors are there? 1, 4 and 2, 3 factors. So for 1, there is only 1 factor. So if you closely observe, all the perfect squares or the square numbers will have odd number of factors. But apart from that, all the other composite number or the prime number also for that matter will have even number of factors except the square numbers. Square numbers will have odd number of factors because whenever we are having the multiplication, the factor comes in pairs. For example, for 1, how I will write factors? 1 and 12. This is one pair. Right. So this is about prime numbers, composite number and unity and their basic properties. Right. Now your job is to know up to 100 you should be knowing, right, how many prime numbers are there, what are they. It is not that you will be mugging it up. So that when you see the number, it should be in a position to understand that this is a prime number. There you should not check. How to check whether it is a prime number or not, what are its properties further, that I am going to discuss in the next video. Right, now what I will do, let's try to solve few questions. Right, let's solve few questions with respect to, the basic understanding that we have done now. I will discuss 2 questions and then I will give you very simple basic question which need your thought process, and I want you to put the answers in the comment section. The more comments that we get, more the interest that you are showing this session, it will help us to further go with the more aggressive, and and also with the next session I will come up with the PYQs that has been asked from this topic, whatever that I am discussed. So that is how the session will go. That is, we will discuss with classes, then the same topics, the PYQs, and then basically the next topic. That is how it has been designed from now on. That is weekly 4 videos that we have been promised to you. Now let's start this problem. Let's solve this. Now for the positive integers ABCD, find the minimum value of -1 to the power of A plus -1 to the power of B plus -1 to the power of C plus -1 to the power of D. If A plus B plus C plus D is equal to 1947. Now, how do you solve it? Take a time, think about it. How it can be solved. Now, you don't know what are these ABCDs are, all you know that they are positive integer. First keyword is what? Positive integer. That is, positive integers are what? Nothing but natural numbers, right? So sometimes in the examination hall, just I want to add it here. Sometimes they give the technical terms, like for example, non-negative integers. What is the meaning of non-negative? They are not negative. That means that here you should be keeping in mind 0 should also be taken into consideration, because 0 is not a neither negative nor positive. If they are telling positive integer, then what I am talking about, 0 should not be taken, only 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, he is talking about natural numbers. Non-negative means whole numbers. Positive integers means basically the natural numbers. Similarly, positive numbers. That means that if it's saying non-positive, that means that it is not positive, then 0 should also be taken and other negative numbers should be taken. If it's taking negative numbers or negative integers, then you are supposed to take -1, -2, -3. You should not consider 0. That you have to keep in your mind. Now let's get back to the problem. You would have thought about it, right? Now if you look at it, they have given one hint, a plus b plus c plus d is equal to 1947. Do you really need to know the value of a, b, c, d to solve this? No, right? Why? We'll understand this. Now, let's say the number that has been given is, an odd number or even number. It is an odd number. That is, there are 4 numbers, positive numbers has been added. Answer is coming as odd number. When is it possible? You know that already with the properties. If let's say, what are the 4 cases that can happen? Let's say all are even. Then even plus even, even plus even. So final answer would have been even. But 1947 is odd. That means that all A, B, C, D, all cannot be even. Let's say 2 are even, 2 are odd. Then what would have happened? Even plus even, that is even. Odd plus odd, that is also even. So that means that final answer would have been even again. So that is also not a possibility. So when it is possible, when you have 3 as even, that is 3 even numbers, that is even plus even is even plus even is even. When you add, and the 4th one is, let's say, odd. So after adding 3 even, you will get even. So once you add another odd number to it, final answer can be odd. So one possibility. Or let's say there is only one even, all 3 are odd. Odd plus, that is even plus odd plus odd plus odd. So that is odd plus odd will be even plus even is even plus odd. That will be finally odd number. So there are only 2 possibilities when either 3 of A, B, C, D 3 of them has to be even, 1 should be odd. Other possibility would be 3 of them are odd, 1 is even. Now let's go further. So that means that what I have found, 2 cases I have found which can make whole sum as odd number. That is when you have 3 even plus 1 odd, or 1 even plus 3 odd numbers, right? So then in both the cases you can, this is a possibility. Now let's see. First we will assume that this case, that is 3 is even. Any 3, order does not matter, right? Minus A, B, C. Let's say assume that 3 are even. So what will happen? -1 to the power even number. So negative number to the power of even number, what it will be? Positive number. That is basically answer will be +1 here. This is again -1 to the power of even number +1. -1 to the power of even number +1. Right. Similarly, -1 to the power of odd number will be -1. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 minus 1 will be 2. So answer will be 2 if there are 3 even. Order does not matter. This can be even, this can be even, this can be even, this can be odd. Order does not matter because 1, 1, 1, 3 minus 1. So order does not matter, right? So now if you look at another possibility, that is 1 is even, 3 is odd. Any one is even because all are having the same base. So it does not matter, right? So if it having -1 to the power of a, let's say this is even. So even power of a negative number is what? Even. Now that is -1 to the power of positive number is even, means basically +1. Remaining number -1 to the power of odd number, -1 to the power of odd number, -1 to the power of odd number, all will get as -1, -1, -1. Right. So that means that -1, -1, -1 is -3 plus 1. -3 plus 1 will be -2. So first was basically +2. Second was -2. What was the least value here? He is asking about minimum value. So answer would be -2. This is your problem number 1. Now let's go to the problem number 2. I'll solve 2 problems. just to make you understand the concept. Now, if you look at it, if P, Q, R are three distinct prime number, the word distinct means they are different prime numbers, such that P plus Q plus R is equal to 40. Sum has been given. What is the maximum possible value of their product P into Q into R? Now let's understand one by one. P plus Q plus R is equal to 40. First is, you are not worrying about the numbers in the first place. First I am thinking it is a even number. You are adding three numbers, which final answer is even, right? Now you know that, all the prime numbers are odd numbers except two. Let's say all three are odd numbers, odd primes. So then what will happen? Odd plus odd even plus odd will be odd. So answer would have been odd. But here answer is what? 40 is a even number. So what we can have? We can have two odd numbers and one even number. Then only answer will be even. If you are, and this even number is what? There is only one even prime number, which is nothing but 2. So that means that any one of P plus Q plus R should be 2. That means that other two together, if it is 2, total is 40. That means that Q plus R should be 40 minus 2, that is 38. So that means that now sum of the remaining two prime number is 38. Now think about all the possibilities, right? So if it is 3, one number is 3, next number will be 35, not possible because 35 is not a prime number. Similarly, one number is 5, other becomes 33. Again, it is not possible because 33 is not a prime number. Next prime number is 7. So next, answer will be 7 and other number would be 31. So that is 7 and 31, both are prime numbers, right? So that means that 7 and 31. This is one possibility, right? Then next prime number will be 11. For 11, if you want to make 38, then answer should be 27. So again, 27 is not a prime number. Similarly, 13 and 25 is not a prime number. You check with all the options. So you will get only one, that is 7 and 31. So that means that remaining two prime numbers are 7 and 31. One, we have already decided that the number is 2. So that is answer would be 7 into 2, 14. 14 into 31. That is 14 into 3. There 14 into 30 will be 420. Plus 14 into 1 will be 14. 420 plus 1, 14 will be 434. Here, what are the concept that you have understood? One, only one prime number which is even will be 2. That has to be applied. And when three numbers are given as a even number, that means that one of them has to be even, other two has to be odd. That is the only possibility. Or if three are also even, then also possibility, but you cannot have three even prime number because prime number we know that there is only one. And also they have told that they are distinct. All these things, if you keep in mind, this will be in a position to solve. Now it is time for you to solve these two questions, right? I will read out the question. I have kept very, very simple question because I just want to, in the first session, you always want to do the build your confidence. From there, we are going to the next level, right? So, what is the first question? Sum of two prime numbers is 31. What is their product? Simple. Next. Okay. Answer is 58, 62, 87, 51. What is the question? Sum of two prime number is 31 and what is their product? Okay. Next. Right. Next. Let P, Q, R be three consecutive prime number. Here consecutive means what? Let's say 2, 3, 5. They are continuously coming one after the others. Like that, the consecutive prime number. Or it can be 3, 5, 7. Right? Or 5, 7, 11. They has to be coming one after the other. Like that, there are three consecutive numbers, P, Q, R, whose sum is 131. Okay. Now, what is the value of P? What is the P? The least prime number, the first prime number that we are talking among these three prime number. What is the first prime number we are talking about? So, let P, Q and R be three consecutive prime numbers. And if P plus Q plus R is 131, what is the value of P? Answer is 37, 41, 43, 47. Now, you can do it in, either ways. You can take the option and then think about it, solve it also. If you are not able to, how exactly you are solving, you are not getting, then at least try to solve through options as well. All right. So, the more that you participate in the session, it will give me more energy to come up with more videos, more unique ideas and PYQ solution. So, let's get into the business. All right, guys. See you soon with the next session with the PYQs that has been asked on these following topics. Right. Thank you, one and all. Let's gear up and make sure that 2026 prelims is ours. All right. Thank you.